All right, this is about the 6th take that I'm doing of this video, at least the start of this video, because I really want this to be an off-the-cuff riff on how I feel or what my experience has been working in tech with AI. And it's really hard to know what to say, not because I don't know what my thoughts and feelings are, because boy, I do. But I think I'm trying to tread carefully, and I'm trying to sugarcoat things, and I'm thinking about what others will think, which is all things that I need to not do. Ultimately, I want this video to be, one, a video diary for myself. I would love to look back at this one day and just think, wow, what an experience. And okay, this is how you felt at this point in time. Secondly, I hope if even one person who feels the way I do or feels alone can watch this and feel less alone. And third, I guess this is somewhat therapeutic. Maybe for anyone who watches who agrees, maybe it's therapeutic for you too. So I don't think you can do any wrong with expressing yourself, because, and that's partly why I wanted to make this video. I think self-expression of your thoughts, your beliefs, your viewpoints are what makes you you, and there's only so long you can hold those things in or sugarcoat them or not be yourself. And I'm just at this point where I'm like, you know what? I think it would be really good to share my thoughts on what it's like working in tech with AI. So I'm going to try to be more direct in this take than I was in previous takes, and let's hope this is the final take. Okay, sip of tea. All right, so for some context, I have been working in tech for almost 15 years, so I'm not some fresh newbie. I intentionally built my tech career. It's been an aspirational career for me, and I wanted to work in tech since I was in high school. I knew what I wanted to study. I knew the companies I wanted to work for. I worked hard and went after those companies and brands and experiences, and I'm really proud to say I've done a lot in my 15 years. I was going to say I've done it all, but I don't think you can ever do it all, so I've done a lot. And so keep that perspective in mind, because I think, when I talk to some of my friends who I studied uni with, we all have similar viewpoints on this stuff from our own perspectives, but we think it's really interesting that the people who are have been in tech the longest, who have more experience than others, are probably the ones feeling this the most. And look, I don't know, is that age? Like, is that what happens when a younger generation comes in, or when new trends come in? Like, am I just being like my parents now and not feeling like I'm capable of adopting a new technology? No, I think this is different, because I have thought about that. And part of me also wants to say, as much as this video is off the cuff, part of me wants to say, like, I've really thought about this and I know exactly what I'm going to say. But the truth is, this is not about what I've thought about. This is about what I've experienced and what I feel, that I think a lot of us are feeling. There's only so long that you can send and like memes and reels that are making a comedy of your literal life, right? And yeah, I'll probably still continue to do that because it's funny, but you know what I'm referring to. You've seen the memes, you've seen the reels, and yes, they are funny, but how accurate are they? How accurate are they? It's frighteningly accurate. All right, so you've got the context. I've been a tech girly through and through is really all you need to know. And, sometimes I sit and reflect on how quickly my role, by the way, I work in product management. I started this channel all because of product management and teaching, educating product things. I've worked on No product hate is allowed here, by the way. Product hate comments will be deleted. But yes, I built this channel on product management and tech, and having building a tech career and all of that. So please know how hard this is to come to terms with something that has changed so much for you when you worked so hard to build it and chased after this thing you wanted that, like, without any control of yours, has literally flipped on its head, is how I feel. But anyway, okay, with being direct, where was I going with this? I don't even know. Okay, let's be direct. I can do this. I feel like AI has made my work meaningless. That's the big one. I feel like it has, I'm trying to think of all the memes I've seen, because the memes and the reels honestly just speak what's in my soul and in my heart. But I feel like my work is meaningless. I feel like there's a lot of pressure because there's now an expectation of doing more efficiently, more productively all the time. So it's almost, I don't know, almost like this feeling of what we're doing is not as important as how quickly we're doing it and how many things we're doing at once. And by the way, my viewpoints are not just from my experience, but a lot of the shared experiences my closest friends are having. So these are, yeah, I guess my thoughts have been validated. My feelings, my experiences have been validated, but I guess I can only really represent myself. What else is there? I guess I feel like a bit of a monkey. And, you know, I'm not even a developer, right? I don't know how developers feel. I feel like it's a bit of a mixed bag, but the fact that my default, or our default now, to do anything at all is to ask the robot to do it really sucks the life out of you. I'm all for productivity. I'm all for doing things faster. Go and see how many productivity videos I have on my channel. I'm all for being efficient. But I think when the default basically becomes delegating or outsourcing, and that's the default, that's the expectation, it's kind of depressing. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. As you can see, I'm really still processing a lot of this. Sometimes I think you need to get out of the environment you're in and the space that you're in to, truly understand what it was and what you feel about it. And so maybe over time I will process this. But right now, this is just sharing my blatant experience and my raw feelings. So yeah, there's that. Oh, don't get me started on this feeling of constantly feeling behind. And I'm not unique to this. Everyone feels this because you go to sleep, you wake up, and then there's been some crazy new development and this crazy new way of doing things that you need to learn. And I feel like people who don't work in tech, it's really hard to convey how much is going on, because I feel like for most people, their exposure is ChatGPT or Claude, right? You ask a question, it's a super glorified Google search, but that's the simplest use case there is. It's when you're using AI that's the other thing, when you're using AI in your personal life, and obviously it's everywhere all the time. You can't escape it, even on personal apps on your phone. But when you're using AI all the time, especially at work, you're talking about AI, you're talking about how to improve things with AI, but you're also learning about AI. You're also building products that are AI products that also no one asked for in many cases. That's the other part. I feel like a lot of companies are just building AI crap because it's the thing to do. And maybe I'm not wearing my business hat when I say this next thing, but I'd love to see a company just make a bold stand and bold move with not doing that. Like, sure, use AI for your internal processes and efficiency and whatnot, but what if you didn't introduce AI capabilities into your product? Again, I don't know if this would work for B2B software. I don't know, but at least, please, for consumer products, we don't need it. I don't think anyone is asking for it. When WhatsApp released the summarization feature, I don't understand the purpose of it, especially for personal use. I don't know, maybe if you use WhatsApp for business, it's helpful. Don't even get me started on Snapchat and why there's an AI bot there. Like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, I guess extending my thought previously about meaning and feeling a lack of meaning with my work, but also feeling a lack of meaning with, like, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than the work individuals are doing. It's what is the purpose of building all this AI stuff into products? On one hand, I'm thinking of that Steve Jobs quote, which goes something like, customers don't know what they want, like you have to give it to them first for them to realize it. But also, I don't know, I don't agree with that, with the AI context. So coming back to feeling left behind. Yeah, I think everyone is feeling this. It's amazing, and I'm very grateful to have had so much AI training and access to amazing resources and courses and all of that. Amazing. But it's like, it's never enough because you're always behind. And also, I'm all for learning on the job. Like, please, you don't really learn all that much at uni. All for learning on the job. I believe that is where all the learning actually happens. But this is, again, it's at this next level where it's doing like as much as you can, as fast as you can, everything at once all the time, while learning the thing, while keeping up with all the new developments of the thing, while increasing pressures to deliver things faster, deliver things to a higher quality, and then on top of that, just being bombarded with AI crap everywhere in your life. And I think this is, again, it's interesting for people who don't work in the tech industry, because I don't know, I understand that many businesses will be adopting and using AI. Having Copilot on your laptop that's nothing. That's like, it's literally like having Google. When you, again, using ChatGPT, and I'm not trying to say people who don't work in tech are not affected by AI. They certainly are in their own way, especially if they have certain views. But I think it's just when it's all the time with everything you do. I think that it's definitely added to the fatigue of it all. Okay, let's talk about my actual craft, product management. When I got into product, I realized yes, this is me, because I truly believe product is a culmination of a lot of things, and it's very suited to someone who, is diverse in their skill set, who can adapt to lots of different things, who can communicate with different types of people at different levels, and enjoys multitasking to some extent. Actually, I want to come back to the multitasking point. So yeah, product I absolutely love as a craft and as a discipline. But this all comes back, shit, I spilled my tea. I feel like this all comes back to meaning, because now you can say sure, the human and the teams and the leaders are still making the decisions on what should be done. But, at the end of the day, we're just blatantly relying on the robots AI tools, I shouldn't call it robots, to do all the thinking. And as someone who needs to be intellectually quite stimulated, I think that's probably been a challenge for me. Okay, so here's another thread to pull. A few people have said to me, Well, if you don't enjoy it, that's fine. Think about it like this. Because you don't enjoy all this AI stuff, well, you can now use AI to do your work faster and then it can be over quicker. It doesn't work like that. It genuinely doesn't work like that. Because it's the meaning. And I'm someone who, by the way, finds, because I just hear this voice saying like, well, you should find meaning in other parts of your life. Totally agree. Everyone is different, but for me, my career has had significant meaning in my life. But even now, while I'm talking about all these experiences, yeah, I have lots of other things that have meaning in my life, including this YouTube channel. I'm filling my creative and fulfillment cup in so many ways. And if I wasn't, I wonder how much worse I would feel. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that thread. I wanted to come back to, I think it was the feeling of being overwhelmed. What did I want to come back to? Let me think about it. I remember I was going to talk about multitasking. Multitasking is a challenge in itself. And I think many corporate jobs, but I know especially in tech, like you just have to be doing many things at once. And I like to say I used to thrive on that. I'm sure it all comes with some cost, but I used to think that I was as good as someone can be at least, like I didn't get overwhelmed when I had to do lots of different things that belonged to different, came from different contexts, and like I was good with that context switching and managing that pressure and everything. But now the context switching and the level of multitasking that has just been so exacerbated by AI I feel like the biggest thing I think it's done is affect my focus, my ability to focus. Because you should be running 3 AI models at once, because you should have multiple agents running in the background doing as many things as they possibly can, because that's the expectation. And from a business standpoint, I respect that. Wearing my business hat, I'm like, okay, cool, productivity gains, efficiency wins, let the dollars roll in. But from an individual and human perspective, it really degrades, again, the meaning of what you're doing. Again, it feels like it's not about the output. It's not about, it's almost like what you're doing is no longer significant. It's all about how you're doing it and the AI process you built to do the thing and how you can teach everyone else about how you did it. I don't mean for this to sound bad, but the thought just came to me, and in the spirit of this being a raw, off-the-cuff chat, it almost feels like there's a feeling of like one-upping each other. And yeah, that's how you learn, but it's like I guess it's a healthy competition or a healthy tension. Someone does something this way and someone else figures out how to make it better, and then keep going. Like where is this going to stop? I think maybe that's the biggest question, is like, where is this going to stop? Oh, don't even get me started on companies that are promoting one person. Oh, I just thought of another thread, that are thinking of one-person teams. I forget which companies, but I've read some articles about the one-person team. Now, just because you can, should you? Maybe this question applies to this whole rant that I'm going on, but just because you can, should you? Because just because an individual could now leverage AI to do all of these things, what the hell happened to humans working together? What actually happened to, as much of a fan of remote work as I am, with all of this stuff I'm talking about, I do think what happened to humans just getting together and whiteboarding stuff out. There's definitely something that experience helped to build between people, between colleagues, between teams. And where the hell is that? Where is it going? Are we going to wait until literal human collaboration does not exist anymore? It's honestly really, really depressing. It's really depressing. I used to, again, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but, I like to say, I'd love to go back to the way it was, like back in the good old days. The good old days were not that long ago. The good old days were what? For me, they were like 2018, 17, 2019, 2021, 22, in terms of like the tech industry. And yes, I know there was a bubble. I know lots of bad, big hiring was done. That aside, I'm talking about like the work I was doing, the people I was working with, I think like generally where the pace of technology was. There was like cool shit happening. People were building cool stuff. And honestly, another thought I just had, this is everywhere, is going everywhere. Another thought that I just had is like, not everything needs to be automated. Not everything, just like my example of personal consumer products, not everything needs to be automated. But I feel like companies are just blindly doing that because they have to, and I get it. Market competition, shareholder pressure, shareholder value, I get it. But coming again from the individual and personal human perspective, it's kind of soul crushing. Let me quickly refer to my Substack that I wrote quite a while ago now, 8 months ago. I think I've naturally conveyed everything I wanted to. Oh, okay, there's one point I haven't. Sameness. I think we're hearing about this in general with like everything in the world is there is a sense of everything is the same. And I think when it comes to corporate world, working at a company, working somewhere, that level of same is like next level. Pages look the same, the way people do work is the same. I don't know, it's like we're all trying to, the company's obviously trying to copy each other, one-up each other, but it's all the same. Like what happened to being different and being unique and being an outlier? And yeah. So I don't know how long this video is at the moment, but I don't know, maybe I should start wrapping it up. I don't know how to wrap it up because this is just like an open thread in my head. But I think maybe you get the gist of it. It's not black and white. I'm not saying we should just stop using AI, but I feel like in a work and career context, we should be thinking more about the humans involved. But on the other hand, if the leaders of these AI companies and these companies are not really thinking about the humans of this world, then I don't really think there's much hope for corporate environments. There's one other thing I forgot to mention, which I just remembered. I think the whole token maxing thing, I don't know if that's still a buzzword that's going around, kind of stopped following it, but basically this idea of measuring things based on token usage. When I first discovered this, I feel like that's kind of when I fell off the edge of the cliff. Like, that was the moment for me where I was like, wow, I feel like I'm living in a this is not real life. Since when do we start, measuring costs, fine. But when did we think it was okay to measure people based on what tools they use and how often they use them? Is that more important than the work that they're doing and the impact that they're having? Because I bet you a lot of people, I don't know where I was going with that. I could probably do a whole separate video on this, but that definitely didn't sit right with me. And I found it really interesting how it was made out to be a very, again, like a very healthy competition, comical thing. And the reels on this were, again, hilarious. But the truth of the matter was, I think it creates very unhealthy competition inside companies. And I think it creates the worst behavior you could actually want. And I think we're starting to see some of that like reverse now, where, the whole token maxing thing has gone the other way for a lot of companies, because people started to optimize for just maximizing their tokens. But that's not why should you be measured on that? Should you be measured on your proficiency with AI? Absolutely. But your proficiency of something shouldn't not be based on how, like, the quantitative metric, So anyway, all of this to say, I'm going to try and wrap this video up now. I feel like I don't know how to say this. I feel like the golden age of tech is gone. I think less and less people are going to, one, get into the tech industry because of efficiency, because of less hiring, but also because it's really, really hard now, hard to get in, very competitive. Secondly, I think more people will be leaving tech. Probably going to take, I think it's going to take us time to see how that plays out, because people need to make alternative plans. People need to figure out how they might pivot their career. It's a bold move, again, especially for those of us who have spent so long, a decade plus, building a career that, a lot of us genuinely loved, and we loved the companies we worked for. We got compensated incredibly well, for which I will always be grateful. But yeah, I think more people are going to be leaving the world of tech. And I don't know. Yeah, I wanted to make a comment about how I think about products and like product usage. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know where that's going to go. But my hope is that we see some sort of downturn in AI use in products, because we realize we don't need everything to be automated, especially in consumer products. And let's just like do something. I'd love to see companies doing shit that actually matters, because, and I've shared this before, but companies will often make priorities based on often not what is best for the customer. Many years ago, when I had a job in product, my first job in product, I remember, and I shared this on a TikTok back then, I remember feeling really disheartened, because me as the product person for whatever product I had at the time really was advocating for this particular thing that customers really wanted. Did we do that thing? No, absolutely not. Even though there was an overwhelming amount of feedback, to the point where people were probably willing to pay for the thing they were asking for. But we ended up doing what, the company leader wanted to do, because of, I don't know, various reasons that I guess I will never understand. And maybe I'm not meant to understand, and that's fine. But I think on a similar note, I just feel like we're building AI slop in products for the sake of it, because we're trying to keep up, because companies and products are trying to outrun each other. That no one is thinking about whether this is required. And it feels like a race to the bottom in many ways. I don't know. But yeah, at the end of the day, we don't have control of any of that. And I remind myself this often, despite having these thoughts. I remind myself often that, you have to deal with, when you can't control what is, it is all about your reaction to it. And I think talking about it is very healthy. To understand other people's perspectives is healthy. So I do welcome other perspectives and thoughts in the comments. These are purely my views and my experiences. And I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong. It's just my experience. And yeah, you have to obviously adapt with the times. I also very much believe that. But I just can't help but ignore this like hole in my heart sometimes, which is like, wow, I used to love my career and what I did and how I did it, the people I did it with, and how I used to collaborate with people, and wow, it just feels like that's gone. And that is what made work meaningful. So yeah. Anyway, that's another rep for my daily posting in August. If you got this far, thank you. Let me know in the comments if you did get this far. And it's going to be scary posting this one, not going to lie. I'm a bit nervous, but I think that is the exact reason why I need to. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.